What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, coming back to the Warning. Yes, indeed, the Warning Fans Feeling You. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Matt Damasio, and Matt wanted to see me react to this song by The Warning called Copper Bullets. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I think I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by The Warning, oh, no surprise there, and the video has 105,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Copper Bullets, The Warning, live at Lunario CDMX. We got a live performance. That's cool. All right. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this. Happy as can be, picture perfect reality. Not a worry, or so it seems. Slowly the problems start to increase. He's so afraid of her, then she's all afraid of him, but nobody ever says a thing. He's a dangerous man, and she's a lonely girl.
Okay, here's where the inner conflict comes into play. I like the song. I am digging the tune. I absolutely am. Like on a personal level, I am absolutely digging this song. I love the play with feel, especially, and I think it's the chorus, where they go into that halftime feel, and then from the halftime feel, they go right back into the straight time after about 8 measures, about halfway through the chorus. They split it. And I like it, especially that halftime feel when it gets really heavy. Digging it. Digging everything I'm hearing there. We're in F sharp, which is a great key. Not my favorite key, but it's one of my tops. It flip-flops, third place kind of flip-flops. D will always be my favorite key to play in, always. I love D, and B is a very close second. E and F sharp, they flip-flop. Sometimes I like E more, sometimes I like F sharp more. But it's always between those two for third place. I like it. I like the fact that we're in that F sharp. It gives it that angry feel. F sharp is a very angry key. I've always said that. Yeah, it's just always kind of had that attitude. Every song I've ever heard that's in F sharp pretty much has that type of attitude, that type of anger to it, that type of fire to it. I absolutely dig it. The chord progressions all make sense. I like what I'm hearing. Instrumentally, everybody sounds good. I'm not hearing anything that sticks out like a sore thumb. Vocally, I think Powell's knocking it out of the park. It sounds really good. Backing vocals are strong, definitely strong. They're coming through really well. Not overly utilized either. They're not saying they're trying to harmonize or, they're not trying to add fluff. They're just keeping it very simple, very basic, very bare bones. But what they're doing is very effective for the song. I think if they did try to harmonize, I was trying to imagine this in my head. What if they did try to harmonize? It really depends on the harmony. If they try to go for thirds, whether it be major or minor thirds, it's going to be fluff. It's going to be a waste. If they go for fifths, maybe fifths might work. But what they're doing with just singing in unison, I think it's the most effective. It definitely fits this song without question. I like the song. I dig the song. That's me personally. If I'm being honest, okay, and I know sometimes my honesty comes across as, arrogance, or that I hate the band, or I hate the girls, or whatever. Guys, that is so far from the truth, but a lot of people take it as that, and that's their problem. If I'm being honest, this is not the best song I've heard from them. I've heard other songs from the Warning that are more impressively written, more powerfully executed. This is fine. It's doing the job. Don't get me wrong. It is. They're doing a fine job of it. It's just, I've heard better from them, both from a songwriting standpoint, from an arranging standpoint, from a musicianship standpoint, from a live execution standpoint. I've heard better. Okay. It's no slight against the girls whatsoever. It's no slight against the band or the brand as a whole either. I'm just saying, if you're looking for me to give this a 9, I got some really bad news for you. It's not going to happen. So, but it is good. It's definitely good. I feel like this is checking off all the boxes without question. So, let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. Back to track, hear it.
He couldn't stand what he had done, the monster that he had become, and the guilt was just too much, so he grabbed a gun. He saw his lover on the ground, her golden lust flowed from her mouth, and echo of the empty sound. Comfort bullet shine his way, love
Yeah, the gang vocals were. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Yep, there it is. That's it. Not a lot to talk about if I'm being honest. I said pretty much everything I wanted to say during the first pause. Nothing really changed. So just gonna hit some bullet points and we're gonna have a short review more than likely. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was The Warning with Copper Bullets. This was a request from Matt Damasio. Okay, I already said everything I needed to say during the course of the reaction when I did my pause, so there's really nothing else to talk about. So this is going to be a short review. I can guarantee it. So let's get to it, starting off with the score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.6. Yep, 7.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.6. What does that mean? Well, a 7.6 would translate to a really good skill rating. So overall, I think this was a really good song. It will also get 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. So there you go, a 7.6, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Well, so glad you asked. It's very self-explanatory. It's a really good song, okay? I've heard better songs from them. I've heard more complex songs written. I've heard better sounding songs written. I've heard more hooky songs written, all by The Warning, okay? I'm just holding them to their own. Forget about every other band out there. I'm just holding them to their own standard in this situation. I've heard better written songs. I've heard hookier songs. I've heard catchier songs. I've heard more driving songs. I've heard more energetic songs. I've heard better songwriting from them than this song. Now, is that to say that they did a bad job? Absolutely not. This song ticks off all the boxes. It's well constructed. It's well thought out. The chordal progressions make perfect sense. They flow really well, especially the verses with that dissension. Really nice. Coming back up for the pre-chorus, it felt really good. I love the fact that they were utilizing halftime and straight time feel within the song, reserving the halftime just for the chorus. That's the only time they would utilize it, in the first half. And by doing so, they created a pattern, which was repeatable. So you can anticipate it. You knew it was coming. And when it happened, you got that payoff. You got that feeling that it's a false sense, but it is a sense of accomplishment. I knew they were gonna do that. You know what I mean? You get that feeling when you're guessing. Oh, let me guess. They're gonna go on that halftime. There it is. I knew they were gonna do it. It's a false sense of accomplishment, but it is still a sense of accomplishment nonetheless that we as listeners experience when that happens. So smart job on their part. Plus that halftime feel got nice and heavy. I liked that. I like the chorus was absolutely my favorite part of the whole song. My only gripe when it came to the song right now, I don't know if this, maybe this might have been an accident. Maybe Danny got carried away. Maybe Ale forgot to come in. I'm not 100% sure. But coming out of the bridge when we went into the chorus, where everybody laid out and Powell was singing a cappella, you heard Danny come in with those chords. Jun jun, just those two chords, and then later the same thing. Jun jun. Now, but no Ale. So it sounds, and I don't know if it was, maybe that's exactly how it is on the studio recording. I'm not 100% sure. But looking at this as a live performance and not knowing, never hearing the song before, this is my first time hearing the song, I wonder if, okay, there's three possibilities. One, that's exactly how it is on the album and they played it exactly as planned. That is a possibility. That leaves me scratching my head a little bit going, that it sounds incomplete. but that is a possibility nonetheless. Number 2, Danny got excited and she just wanted to play along and she went with it. Okay, fine. It happens, guys. It does happen. I'm not sure if that is the case, but it is definitely a possibility. Possibility number 3, Ale forgot to come in with Danny. You know, maybe it's planned that Danny and Ale come in both with those accents. Honestly, I think that would have been the best option, to have Ale come in with Danny on those hits to make the accents even more impactful, even more powerful, sound even fuller, in contrast to the openness that there is in the song when they don't do the accents, when they're not playing. Just to get the maximum impact possible, I would have had Ale do it with him. But then again, like I said, it might not have been planned at all. You know, I'm not 100% sure. If that is how the song goes, and they have Danny just doing the chords, I would seriously say, Ale, just play with her on that part. It's gonna make it stronger, it's gonna make it bigger, it's gonna make it more powerful. That's what I would do anyways. I don't know if that, we'll take that for what it's worth. I'm sure a lot of people out there would agree with me and go, yeah, actually, if you had the bass in there, that would make it more powerful, more impactful. As far as, like I said, the songwriting, I've heard better from them, but this checked off all the boxes of a nicely well-written song. In all honesty, I would give the song on its own, I'd give it about a 7.0, 7.1. It's a really good song nonetheless, okay? It is really good. Yeah, 7.0, 7.1, that sounds just about right. But I'm giving this a 7.6. What happened? Why am I giving it a 7.6? If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you already know what I'm gonna say. So say it with me, kids.
Say it out one time.
A live show can help your score, or it can hurt your score. In this case, it helped. It absolutely helped. It's usually the case with the Warning. It usually does help. So let's go down the checklist. Let's see how many boxes they ticked off. I think they ticked them all off. Let's go down. Let's find out. Stage presence, check. Yeah, they've always looked like performers. They look like performers. They act like performers. They always seem to get that checkbox. Stage energy, check. Yeah, that was a lot of it. A lot of crisscrossing happening, which I was really happy to see between Ale and Danny. Switching sides, giving the audience a new perspective. You know, we're so used to seeing Danny on stage left, Ale on stage right. It's a nice switch to see them, you know, crisscross and give all the Ale fans that are over on the stage left side a chance to see Ale up close. And all the Danny fans that are over on the stage right side to get a chance to see Danny for a change. You know what I mean? So it's smart. I love it when bands think this way. And let's give the crowd what they want and let's switch, even if it's just for a couple of songs during the course of the concert. Let's do it. And they did it multiple times. I think they did it a total of 4 times. They switched back and forth. I think they ended up on their regular sides. I know that. So either they switched twice or they switched 4 times. I'm almost positive it was 4. So that was good. A lot of energy happening there. A lot of movement happening there. So that was nice to see. And by default, because they did, now here's the thing. When you crisscross, there's 2 ways you can do it. You could just crisscross and completely ignore each other on the exchange. Or while you're doing the exchange, you can acknowledge each other, interact with each other, and then finish the exchange. And that's exactly what we saw here. So as a result, stage interaction gets a check. I saw a couple of times when they did the exchange, I saw them interact. It was brief. It was brief. It was only for like, you know, 3 or 4, maybe 5 seconds tops each time. But there was still the attempt made. There was still the effort put in. And guys, that's all I'm looking for. I'm just looking for effort, and they did it. So they absolutely get that checkbox. Crowd interaction. Yeah, actually there was. It was Danny, and it was Ale doing the interacting with the crowd, and it was subtle. It was I had to think about it. It was subtle, but it was done. Things like, you know, while they're playing, leering out into the crowd, looking into the crowd, pointing the necks of their instruments into the crowd. You know, anything you can do to acknowledge the crowd and show that you see them and you acknowledge their presence. That's what I'm looking for, okay? And the clapping, I saw the clapping happening too, so that works as well. So yeah, crowd interaction, it gets the check. It absolutely gets the check. Showmanship, yeah, check. check, absolutely, from everybody involved. Everybody put on a good show. Visually, it was very visually stimulating. So yeah, I'll give it that. Production. I don't know if that light show was designed. I'm looking at what I saw, and well, actually, okay. No, I think the light show was designed. I'm not 100% certain if the light show was designed or not. I didn't see any light changes happening mid-phrase. I didn't see any, sudden darkness for no reason. The more I think about it, I think the light show was designed. I'm gonna get, okay, it wasn't glaringly obvious, except for the fact that the lights went off at the very end of the song and the lights kicked on at the beginning of the song. That could be very easily done at the light board, though, manually. I'm gonna give the ladies the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna say that the light show was designed. Plus, they had the video screen, so I'll give them the check for production. It's not a big check. And remember, guys, production is just bonus points anyway. It really doesn't have that big of an impact on a show, unless it's big. Unless it's a big time production. Otherwise, it's just kind of subtle. I'll still give it the check. It's a little bit of a weak check, but I'll give it a check. So this is how we're coming up from, like I said, about a 7.0, 7.1, all the way up to a 7.6. They did check off all the boxes. Some were stronger than others, but some were also very strong. So I feel good about that 7.6 for the live show. So yeah, 7.6. I got no issues with the song. I like the song. Like I said, I personally really enjoyed listening to this. I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite songs by them, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. And I can absolutely see this, I just saw it being played in a live show. It makes sense to play it at a live show. It is definitely got a lot of live show qualities for it. So yeah, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have a 7.6, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.